So, with all of the news coming out of Hollywood about the sale of Warner Brothers and Netflix losing the bidding and not getting it and all this stuff, it's once again revived rumors she was in the rip on Netflix, is what AeroStream says. The mom
yeah,
or
we
the
haven't
daughter?
watched that yet. No, the mom, Tiana.
The mom was on rip?
Tiana.
Okay.
I
All
don't
right.
know. I'm
All
not
right.
gonna look up her saying name.
Um,
I hate it when people say people's names.
As I was saying, it's once again renewed this idea that somehow Zack Snyder will come back to DC and restore his Snyderverse and all that stuff. Recently, Snyder was on the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast with Josh Horowitz. Great show. I love it. I watch it a lot. But I really wanted to focus particularly on when he talked about Batman versus Superman. Let's take a quick listen. Again, fair use. Shout out to Josh Horowitz and the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast.
Point, and you're building to that, and then to have it become memeified and kind of made fun of must really stick in your craw a little bit, because from your perspective, it's a meaningful.
100%. My 100% honest reaction to BvS and how it's received in the world is that, it's really the question about, and I've said this quite a bit, do you really want a movie that's had all the edges shaved off it by the focus groups? Do you really want a movie that has been, decisions have been made in the boardroom or tested ideas?
Nope.
Here's the problem. That is you're kind of playing with fire when you do that. Okay? And see Jared Leto's Joker. When you veer off a little too far from the reservation, that doesn't always mean good things. I'm just saying.
Are being rendered for your enjoyment? Do you really want the Kmart version of your story? Is that what you really want? Because I would argue that that's fine, and it's fine to
Okay, so we're talking about the Kmart version versus the fucking 4.5, 5 hour version that he's talking about that got released because of the fans.
Make fun of Martha. It is true in canon. It is true in canon that Batman and Superman's mother are both named Martha. That is a fact of the comic book
That's
world.
right. He's right.
Yes.
Whether or not that is a thing that you feel like Batman with the hovering the spear of destiny over.
It made no sense. That's why people have a problem with it. Why would that stop him? That made no sense. There needed to be more explanation and more connection and more backup on that. Now, I know I'm backseat driving, Justice League or BvS, but that's what people had a problem with, is that the fact that the word had so much meaning. But that wasn't the only problem either. Zach knows he took a lot of liberties with that BvS, and he knows what I'm talking about. That was basically Dark Knight Returns. The entire third act of that film was Dark Knight Returns. He took liberties. Some of them didn't work.
Superman's heart, those words, seeing this, what he believes a creature, that this thing that he's demonized in his mind is got a mother named Martha. If there's another thing that could touch him.
I get that. That is a very compelling thing, but you could have done it better, is the point. I think that a lot of, or the issue rather, I think that a lot of people have, is just the word. But now let's pretend that scene didn't happen with the spear and all that shit, that Superman was able to tell Batman, my human mother is in trouble. Batman goes to save her, which he did in the film. Then they come back and they're like, what's your mother's name? Martha. Then I can see how that would trigger him. But to just say the name, no, I'm sorry. And you'll never convince me otherwise. Let's go ahead a little bit to where he starts talking about the Snyderverse continuing.
I'll say about that is that, you know, first of all, the fact, again, that we're talking about, even just that, is testament to, and I think confirms in some way the validity of the mythology that we were working on. Like the kind of obviously those heroes touch a nerve. Obviously those heroes are meant to, in the end, uplift and confirm sort of the human existence or the why of, you know, this
Screaming
crazy
badger
ride we're all
on his
on.
coffee table.
You know, they tend to be a metaphor, you know, like for
It looks like a badger.
all of us,
yeah,
I think.
I don't know
and,
if
and
it's
so,
the screaming one.
you know, not to be too self-important, but
I like he's got
think
some
that,
wax
and by
behind
the way,
him.
I'm
That's
just
cool.
a shepherd of those characters.
A lot of
Obviously, they've already been taken
Records.
and are going, you know, other people will take them and other people will take
got
them
an
after
axe on
that.
his
And that's
fucking
how
wall.
it should be.
Yep.
But I would never say
Looks like
that
he
there's
is.
no way.
The reason he's saying this, by the way, is because of the incredible, you want to talk about an anomaly. The incredible chain of events that led to the Snyder cut of the Justice League. That's the only reason he's saying this, right? Because that is what got that film made, was the fans. And the backlash of fans that said, we want to see Snyder's vision. And we did.
And they hated it.
It was better, but still not where it should have been, unfortunately. So, again, it's very easy to be confident that your stuff may continue because it's happened in the past because of the fans. But remember, Zach, at that point, the fans didn't have a choice, right? It was either Snyderverse or nothing. Now, I've said this a million times. For any haters that come in here that think I'm some kind of Zack Snyder hater, I'm not. I'm
Yeah, you
actually
love that
a
movie.
massive Snyder fan.
Yeah.
Okay?
Like the-
I enjoy the Snyderverse. I have the Aquaman that I do my show every week hanging above me. So this is not some kind of Zack Snyder hate. But my problem with Zack is when he goes on these shows and he says this shit, it gives people this false hope that somehow they'll see the end of that story, and it's just not going to happen. And it just rubs me the wrong way.
I would
know-
never,
you know
because
something?
I was on the ride that created
First
Justice
movie
League.
you ever
And
bought.
if you were in my shoes, there were numerous times, dark times, when I would say there is no chance that there will ever be my version of Justice League will never exist. And it can't. Cost, politics, everything stood against it. And yet it exists. And, you know, I think the fans should never forget that they did that, you know. And they also did.
It was incredible. Don't get me wrong. It was an incredible feat that has never been seen in comic book film before or since. The people were actually able to talk a major motion picture studio into giving this guy several million more dollars, time and resources. The actors who worked on it provided their time to come back and reshoot a bunch of shit. But again, that is a diode, right? That is a what do they call fucking Aladdin? What's Aladdin called? What do they call Aladdin? Diamond in the rough.
Oh, a diamond.
A diamond in the rough.
Diamond in the rough.
Yes, diamond in the rough.
Did a lot of, you know, we raised a ton of money for suicide prevention, and they really did a lot of good. And I think that they catch a lot of flack for being toxic or whatever. But they literally saved human lives, so you can go fuck yourself if that's what you think.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. It did do a lot of good, and it did raise awareness of suicide prevention and all that stuff. He's right about that. But again, if you think it was any other reason other than they wanted to see that fucking movie,
And make that money.
Have you entertained seriously kind of turning that outline for Justice League 2 and 3 into a comic or an animated feature if someone gave you the wherewithal to do that? Is that an option in your head?
No, we've absolutely talked about it quite a bit. And sure. Yeah. I mean, we live in a world where all that's possible, and whatever form it would take, Broadway musical.
Unexpected, but sure.
I don't know about all
You know,
that.
I just feel like
That would be
DC
amazing.
doesn't work quite the
and the
same
lines of-
as Marvel in the huge ensemble film. Am I don't know.
No,
maybe
you're right. The problem was, and I've said this since the beginning, they tried to almost do the reverse of what Marvel did. Okay? First, they throw out Man of Steel, a little feeler. Okay. Do people accept this view? And Zack Snyder's got a very dark way of filming, even Watchmen. Although the book was very similar, and I still maintain it's probably the most accurate shot-by-shot film ever made, that was Zack Snyder's style, right? Was that dark style. Now, did he take it too far? Yes, and I think he knows that too. But, so they kind of dipped their toes with Man of Steel, and then they're like, okay, that worked. Okay, so we got it. We got a Superman that people can get behind. That's the first thing you need, no matter what. Then they were like, let's throw Batman in there and just a pinch of Wonder Woman and see what that does. And of course, as expected, fans flocked to theaters to see that film. But the heroes were not the same as we expected them to be. Now, some people had a problem with that. I personally did not. I always see film as an interpretation of that director's point of view.
Why were they not the same as you expected them to be? I don't understand. That's why I'm asking.
What do you mean?
I mean, you said in that movie when fans flocked to it,
He
they-
was on drugs when he was making Sucker Punch. That's true. He said that in interviews.
Zack Snyder.
Yeah, go ahead.
Why were those characters not what you expected them to be? In what way?
They were darker. I mean, it was just the idea that, again, he took aspects from the wrong source. So in The Dark Knight Returns, Batman is a much darker character because he's older and he's grizzled and he's scarred.
You're talking about the Nolan movie.
This is not a movie that's been made. This is a book.
Okay.
The armor that he wears to fight Superman in Batman versus Superman, you know what I'm talking about? The armor he wears?
Yeah.
That's not from anything other than The Dark Knight Returns. That is a story where Bruce Wayne is considerably older than Ben Affleck. I mean, like in his 70s.
So do you think the Snyder movie was too dark?
Correct. It took too much from too much dark material because you already had the dark of Superman with Man of Steel and he broke fucking Zod's neck, remember? And you had that kind of dark. Then you come in with Batman, but not the Batman that we expect. Not the young Batman who's very cautious about killing and is very moralistic and all this stuff. You have a guy that just doesn't give a shit. That just really is blowing
Old
heads
Batman.
off, blowing up to gas tanks with people and stuff like that. Now, again, it's an interpretation, and I enjoyed it. But I can see people being pissed off about it.
Well, people who expect a Marvel movie.
Dark Knight Returns is one of the best Batman stories, period, if not the Batman story. I have the books. I have the animated films. I read it at least once a year. If you are a Batman fan and ever wonder what would happen to Batman when he retires or gets too old to do the job,
Isn't that just Batman Beyond?
So,
this
okay,
is prior to Batman
I
Beyond.
have
Okay.
questions about the Snyder
Okay.
movies. Like, because I haven't seen it, actually. So, there was a theatrical cut, right? And then there's, like,
Which movie are we talking about?
this movie that they're talking about, Batman versus Superman,
Okay.
or whatever. Like, isn't or what is the Snyder movie that you're always talking about that's like 4 hours long? Like
That's Justice League.
okay.
So let me continue. So anyway, so they dip their toes in Superman, and they give it a little pinch of Batman, Wonder Woman. That made a little bit of money, and it's like, okay, this made money. Let's do Justice League.
So this is the Snyder Justice League that they're talking about.
Yes.
Okay.
The 4 hour film. That's what I'm talking. Because he went
But it
in.
wasn't theatrically released at 4 hours. There's
No.
a theatrical release.
Zack Snyder was fired from the production, and Josh Whedon had to finish the film.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah,
like
that's
sexual
why it
predator,
sucked. No,
Joss
that's
Whedon.
why everybody was pissed off.
Oh, okay.
Because it's like, what would that have looked like without? It's not Batman versus Superman. It's Batman v Superman, like a court case. I agree with you, Arrow. I say BvS and Batman v
You know,
Superman.
you know
I
what they
don't know.
should
Whatever.
have done.
Tell me something.
Now I'm going to say this, and this is how like a bunch of companies should do it. Is I'm gonna say the MonsterVerse route with Godzilla and Kong, because you started off with Godzilla and Kong. Godzilla, then you had Kong, then you had Kong, and then you had Godzilla again. Then you did Versus.
Godzilla v Kong, not versus v Kong.
Sounds like you're saying Viet Cong. All right. Again.
And then they team up.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, okay. I mean, I don't know.
Except for Zack Snyder, they did Man of Steel
Let me
and
tell you
had
something.
no reference at all to Batman in any movie.
Well, no,
That
that's
was
not
ju-
true. That's
What-
not true.
what was that?
In the Superman film, you can clearly see there is a Wayne Enterprises satellite that's attacked during the Zod Superman fight at the end. That ignited the fuse, if you will, that led to BvS. BvS led to Justice League, but again, they were rushing him. They were trying to get it out as fast as they could, right? And that screwed everything up. So fans were like, this is bullshit. Arrow says
No
that was
court
right.
case.
No court case for Kong versus Godzilla. Again, Arrow, I agree with you. But no, what happened was they just rushed him, and so fans were like, "It's bullshit. We need to see what he would have done," and he showed us, and it was what it was. And then the machine of Hollywood took over, and that's the way it fucking is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way it is. You can be mad if you want to be, but I'm telling you, are you ever going to see the Snyderverse come back?
Nope.
No. You just don't understand the amount of money it would take to even contemplate doing that. To do one film. Let's say they want to do a Flash sequel. Ezra Miller's cheap. He ain't doing shit.
Yeah, that's for sure.
You know,
He's about to
but
start
this time
sitting in prison.
we won't do the Michael Keaton shit, and we'll just have a Flash movie. No, you can't, because then you interfere with the current plans. It would be just like when Zack was there, yeah, and someone were to come in and do the same shit. It's a natural progression, people. It's not personal. I don't think Zack sees it as personal. I think he has a lot of fun in these interviews. He pokes fun at the fandom and how crazy they. I don't think he understands the word toxic, number one, and what that means in the online world, right? Because that Snyderverse fandom is fucking toxic. I don't think anybody would dispute that. But you're not going to see a Snyderverse.
I think everyone in the world gets frustrated with the fact that artists cannot make art without all of this interfering in it.
Sure. And
you know, like we would love to see his vision without all of this BS interfering with it. And I mean, that's life. We get frustrated with that with everyone.
You know who everyone wishes the Flash was? Who
Grant
played
Gustin,
Yeah.
Who?
the guy who plays him on TV.
Who played him way better.
Look, people,
That's
Zack
just
Snyder
problems.
is a great director. I hope he goes on to bigger and better things. The superhero stuff doesn't necessarily mean that he's done with it, but I think he's done with DC stuff. At least being the anchor of the DC.
Well, yeah, I mean
series.
that's over. I mean, this
You've
is
already
over
had
by like
well,
10 years.
Here's the thing: you've already had the Warner Brothers CEO come out and say that James Gunn's Superman saved that studio from bankruptcy. There was an interview last week where the David Zaslav came out and said, "Sinners, right, and Superman saved Warner Brothers Studios, all the fucking departments." So, for those of you that say that movie wasn't successful, think about that one.
Well, now they're owned by the president, so it's okay.
Let me know what you think down in the comments. Make sure you like the video, ring the bell so you know when we go live. We will see you in the next one.